Hey everyone, Slambo here. Hopping on another contest entry, this one for Andy at Next Play Records. He asked us to do a March Madness bracket of sorts from records in our collection, starting with 4 categories and 2 records in each, and fighting them off until we get down to a finals and one winner at the end. Rather than just arbitrarily pick which one I like better, I'm going to go with how they're listed in my Discogs catalog, and specifically the number of people who have this record specifically listed in their own catalogs as well. So I'm looking at the have number on the Discogs page on my collections for each of these 4 or 8 records. So I've got the 4 different categories. I've got 2 regular music categories, and I've got 2 comedy categories. So starting off with the music categories, we have classic rock greatest hits albums. And in that category we have Fleetwood Mac greatest hits going up against The Who, Who's Better, Who's Best, which is what we're trying to find out today. So between Fleetwood Mac and The Who moves on? Well, Who does not move on. Fleetwood Mac moves on. In the next music category, we have cool jazz, mid-century jazz. We have probably one of my newer acquisitions. We have Tenor Conclave with John Coltrane, Hank Mobley, Zoot Sims, and Al Cohn. And we have the Dave Brubeck Quartet, also a recent acquisition, with Time Outtakes. So between Coltrane and Brubeck, who's going to move on between these two? And the winner in this one is Dave Brubeck. He's moving on. Even though that one only just released, more people list it as they have it in their collection on Discogs. So, on the comedy side, we have stand-up comedy as one category. We have Robin Williams with Reality, What a Concept. And we have Steve Martin, A Wild and Crazy Guy. So, Robin Williams or Steve Martin? Robin Williams or Steve Martin? And moving on is Steve Martin. More people have him or this record in their catalog than have Robin Williams. And the final comedy category, we have musical comedy. We have Tom Lehrer, That Was the Year That Was, going up against Smothers Brothers, Curb Your Tongue, Knave. So between Tom Lehrer and the Smothers Brothers, who moves on? Is it Tom Lehrer or is it the Smothers Brothers? In this matchup, it's the Smothers Brothers who are moving on. So that was round 1. We've eliminated 4 out of the 8 records. So moving on to round 2, comedy side. We have musical comedy, Smothers Brothers versus stand-up comedy, Steve Martin. Smothers Brothers, Steve Martin. Smothers Brothers, Steve Martin. And moving on is Steve Martin. He moves on to the final. On the music side, we've got jazz versus classic rock. We have Dave Brubeck versus Fleetwood Mac. Tough choice, I know, but who's moving on? Brubeck? Fleetwood Mac? Brubeck? Fleetwood Mac? Moving on is Fleetwood Mac, greatest hits. Up to the finals, we have 2 records left. We have comedy versus music. We have Fleetwood Mac, greatest hits versus Steve Martin, A Wild and Crazy Guy. Which one is more popular in the Discogs category as for having it in their catalog? Is it Fleetwood Mac? Is it Steve Martin? Is it Fleetwood Mac? Or is it Steve Martin? And the winner between these two is, by a considerable margin, Steve Martin, Wild and Crazy Guy. So out of these 8 records, more people liked the comedy than liked the music. And I would tend to agree, as primarily a comedy collector. So there's the 8 records narrowed down to one in a bracket that's not quite arbitrary this time, but based on a metric that's measurable and repeatable. I can look it up in my catalog and find out which one of these was the most popular, and of all of them, Steve Martin takes the crown. So there's what we've got. This was a lot of fun to do. Thanks for the guidance. Watching all the other entries into this contest has been a great guidance indeed. Since I'm normally not a sports ball person, I went the nerdy route. I had to watch what everyone else was doing, and of course I couldn't just arbitrarily pick one. I had to let someone else decide for me. So there's what I've got today. See you next time.